The Ranking Member, Mr. Babin.
Thank you, Chairwoman Horn. H.R. 5666, the NASA Authorization Act of 2020, represents a start to advancing our nation's space program. The bill supports the administration's bold mission to return America to the surface of the moon and on to Mars. The bill jumpstarts Artemis with the direction to create a Moon to Mars program office, something the appropriators didn't do and didn't support in the recent omnibus. The bill codifies the goal of returning to the surface of the moon by 2028, something that the Senate was only able to support as a non-binding sense of Congress. And absolutely nothing in this bill inhibits or prohibits NASA from returning to the lunar surface by 2024 if we can. The bill continues support for Orion, the Space Launch System, the Exploration Ground System, and calls for increased flight rates for these critical exploration capabilities, which was a concern expressed by the Aerospace Safety Advisory Panel. The bill also formally authorizes development of a gateway in cislunar space and allows FAR to support missions to the moon and to Mars. Additional developments specifically authorized for the first time in the bill include exploration spacesuits and ISS spacesuit upgrades that leverage the expertise of the Johnson Space Center and a Mars transport vehicle. The bill allows for unfettered lunar resource development and the development of a lunar outpost so long as they are separately accounted for in NASA's budget request, just as many other activities like exploration research and development, advanced exploration capabilities, and space technology work are accounted for at NASA. The bill encourages international and commercial partnerships and even carves out logistics and cargo supply exclusively for commercial providers. Furthermore, it formally codifies the administration's commercial lunar payload services proposal. The bill directs NASA to continue operating the ISS until at least 2028, supports continued progress on commercial crew and cargo, to once again launch American astronauts on American rockets from American soil. And this allows NASA to move forward with commercial low Earth development plans. Turning to science, the bill ensures a balanced portfolio of science activities, including the authorization of a new spacecraft to search for dangerous near-Earth asteroids, completion of the James Webb Space Telescope, and other National Academy's decadal survey priorities. Finally, the bill strongly supports NASA's aeronautics, space technology, and education programs. But let me be clear, this is not an ideal bill. It is not the one that I would have even put forward had we been in the majority. But I can count, and the majority would likely have had the votes to get the bill out of committee with or without our support. Through working with the majority, we have significantly strengthened their proposal in a way that fully supports the administration's priority goals laid out in Space Policy Directive 1. I look forward to continuing to work with the majority to incorporate input from all stakeholders, including the administration, as we move forward. It is clear that more work needs to be done to ensure that all stakeholders and members are comfortable going forward. Specifically, the language on human landers could be strengthened to align with the administration's goal of using public-private partnerships and cost sharing. This is the beginning of the process. I look forward to working with my colleagues going forward to ensure that this committee produces a bill that will be acceptable to take to the floor at some point in the future. And I yield back, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Babin. We will now consider H.R. 5666, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration Authorization Act of 2020. The clerk will report the bill.
H.R. 56.
Without objection, the bill is considered as read and open to amendment at any point. The chair now recognizes the chair of the full committee, Ms. Johnson, to present remarks on the bill.
Thank you very much. Let me acknowledge the presence of the administrator. We're delighted that you're here. And I want to again express my deep appreciation to Chairwoman Horn and Ranking Member Babin for their hard work in crafting the thoughtful and bipartisan NASA authorization bill that we will be considering today. It is a good bill, and I'm proud to be an original co-sponsor. The legislation before us today recognizes the need for a balanced NASA portfolio of programs in human spaceflight and explorations, space and earth science, aeronautics, technological innovation, and promotion of STEM education. It contains many important provisions to strengthen NASA's role in each of its areas. In that regard, I'm especially pleased by the constructive and clear-eyed approach that Chairwoman Horn and Ranking Member Babin have taken to move NASA's Moon to Mars aspirations from the realm of rhetoric into the serious consideration of what it will actually take to achieve the ambitious national goal of landing humans on Mars. If their efforts have been generated some controversy, it is because they have done the hard work of clarifying what needs to happen if NASA is to reach Mars in a reasonable time period and for a reasonable cost. And I would suggest that no one get too focused on the specific milestone dates proposed in the bill. If NASA is able to get to the moon before 2028, or if it takes longer than 2033 for NASA to orbit Mars, that's okay, and are not precluded by this bill. I am more interested in maximizing the odds of success for this bold undertaking and making it as safe as any human journey into the deep space can be.